Good day, my name is Max and today I'm going to help you with becoming a true Victorian gentleman. As you will probably know, in today's hustle culture it is not easy to live your life as a man of leisure. And I think we all know who's to blame for the sad state of affairs. Influencers. Instead of teaching you how to be the most affable version of yourself, most of them nowadays are more interested in plunging themselves into ice-cold water and being the baldest of them all. Today we'll try to remedy that by giving you actionable tips on how to present yourself the next time you are invited to your acquaintance's sitting room. Let's start with some historic context. The Victorian Era is named after Queen Victoria of England, who many to this day celebrate for having ruled a long-ass time and being the grandmother of all the mustached men who started the First World War. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. There were children in fingerless gloves working in factories, but at the same time the child unemployment rate was at an all-time low. But if you're anything like me, you do not care for whatever awful lives most people lived, and you're here to learn how to become a man of composure and dignity. Well, you've come to the right place. While there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened during the Victorian era, it was also when the upper and middle classes in England and America decided to become extra upper and middle classy. To achieve this, they followed very specific social rules and conventions, the most important of which we will now discuss, so you yourself can become a real Victorian gentleman. If, for any reason at all, you are not a man, you will still find that many of these rules will help you in becoming more classy, so feel free to follow them nonetheless. I've always believed that your gender shouldn't stop you from becoming your most gentlemanly self. Let's start with the basics. One way today's youth often reveal their ill breeding is by using vulgar slang when greeting each other, such as "Hello, old fellow." "Hello, old fellow." You might think that the "old fellow" part is the reason why you should avoid such perverse ways of speaking, but in fact, by saying hello, you already give yourself away as a neophyte to society who follows every new social trend. Hello should be used exclusively as an exclamation to get someone's attention from a distance. The reason nowadays many use it as a general form of greeting is that ratbag Thomas Edison, who pushed for it to be the way people start their telephone calls. Alexander Graham Bell, who may or may not have been the original inventor of the telephone, had his own thoughts regarding this and preferred a hearty ahoy to start off his calls. But this one did not stick around for some reason. So when someone degrades themselves by saying hello to you, you better remind them that they should be ashamed of their conduct by responding respectfully, such as with a simple yet elegant "good day." Let's talk about hats. Every gentleman should know how to use a hat properly. When coming across an acquaintance on the promenade, lift your hat, do not just tip it. This is also how you can distinguish yourself from the fedora-wearing crowd who just tip their hat when saying "milady." Another way to distinguish yourself is by not indulging in the solitary vice. The Victorian era did not look kindly upon self-pollution. If I may quote the renowned surgeon R.J. Brodie, "Self-abuse is a perverted and baneful habit which destroys the germ of manhood." Also, don't say "milady", say "madam" or "ma'am". The most important skill of a gentleman is the ability to have a pleasant conversation. People in good standing do little but pay each other morning visits and attend evening parties, so mastering the art of conversation should be at the forefront of your mind. Many of you are probably watching this video to learn how to speak to ladies. The most important thing here is to realize that not all women are the same. Many men make the mistake of assuming every woman to be a trifler of ordinary education and thus keep their conversation commonplace for all ladies alike. It is imperative to avoid this. Instead, pay every lady a compliment by acknowledging her refinement and appreciating her superior attainment. However, even when speaking to a woman of sense, do not use classical quotations without apologizing for or translating them. As a rule, in the presence of ladies as well as gentlemen, excessive displays of learning are out of place. Also, never speak of subjects of which you know nothing. Many young men imagine that because they frequent exhibitions and operas they are qualified judges of art. No mistake is more egregious or universal. The same goes for listening to podcasts and neuroscience. I believe we've hit the most important topics. Now, some miscellaneous advice for specific situations that you might encounter. If you, by accident, break something while being hosted at a dear friend's, do not apologize. That is a fool's mistake. Instead, show the regret on your face. Similarly, if someone reveals their lack of class by asking you for your age, there are some good responses you might want to memorize. It is important to remain composed while not lowering yourself to their level. Alas, I am old enough to have been the chief mourner at the funeral of many hopes. This will make your interlocutor feel they set you on a path of sad reminiscence and thus hopefully regret ever having asked. Alternatively, you can try to confuse them by responding by quoting French poetry. That's enough for today. I hope we all learned something, and if not, that's okay too. If you have any questions, write them into the comments and I might respond if I deem you worthy. Bye bye.